Wait, you are not going to take a class just yet. I know that you've been thinking about learning energy healing, you've been having sessions, and you think, no, now is the time that I need to learn to do this for myself. And you are absolutely right. You're feeling like your spiritual awareness is opened, but you actually haven't got the tools that you need to support it. You're feeling like your manifestations just aren't consistent, and you know it's because your energy just isn't stable. And learning energy healing is the best way to get into that deeper connection and support your expansion on your spiritual journey. And by doing these 3 things first, before you go ahead and jump into learning energy healing, your energetic healing abilities are going to come through so much quicker and deeper, because this is about learning your own connection. Learning energy healing is definitely not about learning a set of prescribed hand movements and having somebody attune you. True energy healing is a very, very personal thing. It's a connection between yourself and whatever it is that you call God, source, spirit, the divine, the universal healing light, the love, whatever you call that, however you think of that, it's about your connection to that, not somebody blessing you and giving you permission to access, because it doesn't work like that. True energy healing is a very personal thing. The amount of people that come to me having taken class after class, even when they've done things like reiki training, and they come and they do one session with me or one workshop with me, and they feel and experience things that they have never felt or experienced before, because they are getting in true connection with themselves and their own power. Because it is about bringing that focus onto the self and the connection and the uniqueness of you, instead of outsourcing that power to an external authority, whether that's to a teacher, whether that's to a modality, wherever that is. It's about bringing it back to where it belongs. And learning how to practice safely and in a way that works is vital. And that connection should always be centered on your heart connection and your truth. So the first thing that you are going to need to do when you are preparing to learn energy healing, you're probably already doing it. If you're here, you're probably already doing it, but it's to create a meditation practice that you do every day, but not a guided meditation. Going from using apps, using guided meditations to, again, as we were talking before, we're not outsourcing it, we're bringing that power back home. It's about putting on either a plain track or just putting on something where you can focus on your breathing, or having no music and just focusing on the breath and allowing yourself to fully observe. Because whereas guided meditations, whereas the apps and stuff are great, when we are preparing to do energy healing, it really is about getting in this deep connection with ourselves. And it means that we need minimal outside influence. And I know that a lot of people come to me and they do have a meditation practice whereby they will be meditating somewhat regularly. It really is important that we make this as near to possible as a daily thing as we can while we are in this preparation phase, because it is about consistently opening ourselves to that and allowing what needs to come through to come through. The second thing that we need to do is something that really not anybody talks about. I don't really hear anybody teaching about, and it is this. You have got to get honest AF and really look at how well you take responsibility for things that are yours to take responsibility for, because during the process of learning energy healing, you are going to have things that come up. That's different with my clients and when I'm teaching energy healing work is that we work on the imprints, we work on the beliefs, work on all the things that you're carrying around energy healing in itself. When I am teaching people to access energy healing in their own way, there are going to be things that come up. Things from maybe when they were younger that have come from school, have come from church, have come from maybe parents or people around them that say, I can't do this because, so for example, myself, I was brought up in the Catholic Church. I was not brought up in any way sort of, my parents weren't openly spiritual or anything like that. And when I came to learn energy healing, it was something that was a bit weird. I was a tax advisor at the time and all this was happening and I was like, it's a bit odd. There is a lot of things that we have to alchemize and work through that allow us to open up on a deeper and deeper level. And so as we learn energy healing, the deeper and deeper we get into it, the more and more of these imprints come up. And so learning to be able to coach these ourselves and do our self-coaching take responsibility and say, actually, yes, this is what's coming up for me, and this is where I need to take responsibility for that, and this is where I can work on that and move to the next level, is really, really important. So really getting into the habit of being able to look at patterns that are coming up and say, okay, here I can see that I need to do some work on myself around that. Because the things that come up for people around energy healing can be so far reaching. They can be anything. They can be fears, they can be beliefs, they can even be, and this is something that I see fairly regularly, actually the fear of our own power. Like we start doing this energy work and it works, and we start going, oh my gosh, I'm able to do this. And it's almost like a fear of our own power. And so it really is about being able to self-coach through those beliefs, through those imprints. And it can get pretty gritty. So it's about learning to be okay with that. And then the third thing that we need to do is to find the most fun and expressive way that you feel energy right now. So that could be dance, that could be music, that could be singing, that could be art, it could be creative expression, it could be you in your flow in your work. In fact, I know that it's probably all of these things in some way or another. But anything where you feel that energy coursing through your body, whether that is sensual energy, we feel energy in these moments and in these times in our lives. When do you feel energy? And it's about picking out a time, picking something where you really feel that, and really recognizing that as energy and focusing on it when you're in those moments and saying, okay, this is what energy feels like. Because as you do that, you're going to find it easier and easier as you move into doing energy work. You're going to find it so much easier to feel the energy flow through your hands, through your body, because you are aware and familiar with how energy feels and recognizing it as that. Because you are holding energy there and you are holding the container for it. And that is what you will be doing as you learn energy healing. You are the container for the energy to flow. So really looking at what does that feel like in my body? How does that feel through each part? And doing more of that with more intentionality and more depth. And only then would I start getting into the actual energy healing techniques. And so if that all feels like where you're at right now and you want to do a guided energy healing session, I have got one for you. If you just click here, I will meet you over there.